Hey everyone, welcome to episode 6 of Quick Conversations with Sarah Auda. I get to bring people that I love, admire, and adore together to talk about what their expert kind of perspective is on the world, on their industry. Everyone kind of gets to choose their own area that they want to focus on for the three questions, which are what do people need to know now? What's in the way of that? And what's one simple and strong way that someone can engage in the content that we're talking about? So I am so excited today to introduce Emily Paulsen. She is the founder and CEO of Electric Collab. She's going to introduce herself in a moment, but this is psychology-based premium branding and really I'm going to butcher it. So she's going to share it so much better than I am now. But what I will say is, I've been following her for a while. I know people she's worked with. I have continued to explore work with her. And one of the things that I think really stands out to me about Emily is how much she really understands the values of an organization and how that speaks to the design of your branding, your logo, your colors. It's all integrated, and her newsletter is amazing. If you're a business junkie like I am, an entrepreneur junkie, you're going to want to follow her. Emily, I'm so glad to have you here today. Thank you for being a guest, and tell us a little bit about Electric Collab and your expertise out there in the world.
Thank you for that warm introduction, Sarah. I'm so happy to be here. And the way you described it is perfect. Electric Collab is about psychology-based branding for premium service providers. And I use that phrase psychology-based because really consumer behavior is at the root of everything we do. Branding is a business tool and it's incredibly personal. It's self-reflective. It really does become our reputation when we're not in the room or before we have the opportunity to be in the room. Our brand speaks for us, which includes language, the way we position ourselves, our core messaging, and the fun, sexy stuff of colors and logo design, all of that, website, the user experience, all of that is tied together. So if we think about that as a critical business tool and representation, we need to deeply understand how people behave when it comes to engaging with companies, spending their money, and giving up their trust. So that psychology layer is really about marrying the core of who a person is, who a business is, or the founder, and then matching that with what the audience needs to emotionally hear, feel, see so that they can connect.
I love your work so much, and I know I tell you this all the time of what a fangirl I am of what you do. Like every time I see an email from you, I feel like it's a gift in my inbox. Like I can't wait to open it up and read what you're sharing. Can you maybe give us like two or three examples, just quick sound bites of like what are the sorts of results that your clients see? Because it's
Mm,
staggering some of the things that I've seen you share.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, our clients are amazing. So, I mean, so much credit goes to them. They have all the raw ingredients of expertise and know-how and philosophy and approach in their industries. And we're just here to kind of bake those ingredients into the perfect cake. I mean, people have tripled revenue within like a month of launch. We've had people book out their year in February, hire six-figure teams, get on TED stages. I mean, major media visibility, book deals. It's amazing to me. Not because, I mean, I don't believe, I believe in the work. So it's not like I'm
Yeah.
shocked that it's working for people, but it just speaks to the potency of what these service providers have to offer. When you can take away the veil of imposter syndrome and not knowing how to share it or how to present it in a way that connects, when you get rid of that uncertainty and you just have laser focus in the way the work is presented, I mean, truly the sky is the limit. Whatever they want to achieve, well beyond confidence and clarity. We're talking serious ROI, business results, and visibility. I just see it time and time again that they're able to achieve amazing things.
Yeah, I mean, TED spots and tripling revenue alone is, I
Yeah.
mean, an incredible, right? Like testimonial to the work that you do,
Mhm.
right? And how it works. So I love the solution, right? Kind of the equation you found and the solution that you create for your clients. For the
Mhm.
rest of the world, based on this conversation that we're having, what is one thing that you think people need to know right now from your unique perspective, your industry? I mean, it could be anything personal or professional. What do you think people
Mhm.
need to know right now?
I think we are entering a very exciting era where we have a unique ability to stand out based on our self-expression.
Hmm.
So when we think about AI and what that is doing to every industry, and I'm sure this has come up through your other conversations, like can we get through a day without talking about AI? I don't think so. It seems to come up in every client call. I've been doing connection calls with other entrepreneurs before doing this, and like everybody's talking about some AI tool, some AI hack, an ability to make things faster, maybe even eliminate a team member. This is the focus of 2026 and beyond, right? And there's so much upside there. I, of course, embrace AI. I'm excited about the efficiencies. I like learning new tools. I like technology. We're in the website space. So I think it's worth embracing that. But the piece that is at risk if we don't use those tools intentionally is distinction, really being set apart in our space, regardless of what that is. I mean, we can all, at this point, I'm sure we can all feel when a LinkedIn caption was written by AI, let alone when an entire position in a market or an entire point of view from a business or promise of what they can deliver, philosophy on how they do things differently. If we leave those things in the hands of AI from the beginning, inevitably we're going to get something that already exists, that somebody else is already doing in the market. The other side of that is if we can tap into how we want to be seen based on like the deepest parts of ourself. And this doesn't just apply to personal brands. So it's not just like the spiritual woo-woo world here. Any organization, when you look at the parts that make that up, from the founder down to every team member, the services that they deliver, products, whatever it is that you actually have for sale, you have something about that offering that is different from others. Otherwise, your business wouldn't exist and you wouldn't want to do it. There's something that you're trying to prove or trying to shake up in your field. If you can start there and craft the narrative and the story from that place of deep expression, you are so far ahead when it comes to standing out among competition. And we work so hard to stand out from our competitors. Like, that's the goal. We want people to choose us, the right people to choose us first. And I just think, like, this is exciting that we can go so far in that differentiation just by being more of ourselves.
Which is really like your expertise is like drawing out that uniqueness, that, right, whatever that customization is, those nuances, those small things that make a huge impact, right?
Yes.
So the second question is what's in the way of people really attuning to this truth? Is it lack of resources? Is it just the inundation of just AI content right out there? Like, what's in the way of people really owning who they, I guess the better question is like, what's in the way of people owning who they really are and expressing that?
I don't think it's lack of resources. I think we have way too many resources. So
Uh,
there's so many places to go to kind of configure like, ooh, how can I churn out more content? Ooh, how could I automate my emails? Ooh, how can I have something that some bot that goes into my inbox and like follows up with every lead? There's so many places where we can automate right now. And that's extremely tempting. Like time is money, time is energy. So I think that's the biggest block is this temptation to streamline to such extremes. And I think, it's addicting to feel like you're not left behind. Like there's a fear of not using AI, not using it soon enough. Is somebody else doing a better job with sales, marketing, ops, organization because they're using an AI tool that I don't know about yet? Like, oh no. And that just leads us to do more research and get more free trials and try more tools. All the while, like the self-expression is just slipping down to the bottom of the list. So
mm,
within the business, we feel really busy because we're exploring all these new tools and tactics and trying stuff. But if we think about the outside world, our potential customers who we really want, they don't care about any of that. Not only are they not seeing that, they don't care. So to them, we're just becoming more and more and more vanilla in the
mhm.
landscape, which I think that's the block. Like trying too many things, getting really consumed by the temptation to automate that just blocks our potency from the people who really need it.
Oh my gosh, I'm just feeling like I'm so with my people right now because so many of my, this is part of why recently I was like, I'm only working with founders who have at least had a business for 5 years. Like
Hmm.
there's so much, right, uncertainty. and experimentation and testing, right? That goes into those first few years of business where
Hmm.
you don't even really, I feel like, and I don't know, maybe you disagree with this, but I'm like, I almost feel like you don't even really know your brand until you've been a couple years in and
Hmm.
you have the data to be like, oh, this is the unique nuance. This is the unique way. This is the approach. This is the how we differentiate ourselves.
Yes.
I don't know if that's what you're seeing or not, or what your
Yeah.
expert opinion would be. Yeah.
I totally agree. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it takes time to really understand. I always say people are a good fit for us as a client when you really know yourself and you really know who you want to serve. We'll take it from there. Like we'll connect those dots, but it takes time to answer those questions. And I think with all of the AI innovation, and I second guessed even talking about this because I don't want this to sound negative. I don't want it to be like,
Yeah,
ooh,
sure.
AI
Yeah.
is bad because I don't believe that and I don't think that's a healthy viewpoint for any of us. But
Hmm.
because it's so fresh, I mean, I have mentors, business friends, colleagues who've been in business for well over a decade, and I can feel them scrambling. We're all kind of like, this is brand new for all of us. Even if we've been around for a while, this stuff
Hmm.
hasn't. So I think it's a fresh temptation to battle with in a new way and kind of figure out, which we're all doing in real time, like what's the way to embrace it so that it is additive to our business and to our results without accidentally making us all more homogenous.
Well, this is like the perfect segue into like the last question, which is like, okay, based on this, like what are some resources, some tools, some ways that people can navigate this for themselves? Essentially, is there an action item someone can take, whether that's a reflection or I don't know what you might have up your sleeve,
Mhm.
but how do we work with this, right? How do business owners watching this start to implement and get themselves immersed into what's theirs to do in this new frontier?
Set aside some time, which may be during a workday. Maybe this has to happen on a weekday or a weekend because I know we're all
Hmm.
consumed. Set aside some time and don't look at anything. Like, don't look at competitors, don't look at social media, don't do anything with AI. Like, don't ask AI for any of its opinions or its support with this exercise. And really ask yourself, like, can you say, if your dreamiest, like the person you want to hire you the most in this world, if they came to you right now, can you answer what makes you different than anybody else? And not just one thing, like three things. Are you so deeply connected to your core differentiators? And if you aren't, then go one step further and try to ask yourself, okay, let me think about the combination of who we are as an organization, background, history, skill sets, personality, perspective, like really try to piece together what you have as a combination that others don't. If you can answer that question, amazing. Now look at your brand experience outside of yourself and ask, are those things front and center? If somebody lands on my website for the first time, if they hear me on a podcast or a YouTube channel, did I mention all those things? Is it obvious that when they land
Mm.
on our Instagram page? Like knowing it is half the battle because it's hard to self-identify the things that make us special. That's true. But everybody listening to this, like you're high achievers, you can do it when you dedicate the time. Knowing is half. The second half is like, well, have I told people in a bold and big enough way so that anybody who comes to me, it's going to be very clear how we're different. And then they can self-select. Like that's either the differentiation that they want or that's going to repel them, which is the positive thing. We want to magnetize the people who connect with us and don't waste either party's time if they don't. So that's what I would do. I would really like make that a priority to get in touch with those unique value differentiators and then make sure they're visible and don't even let AI touch it. Come to it later
Mm.
once you're like, okay, these are our three pillars. Help me with a content calendar, but don't let it help you with the creation.
Yeah. Well, and you gave me a great, like very practical like exercise around this kind of theme too, which is if you just go to my website, right? Like go to my website and just look at it, right? Just that first,
Hmm.
like what is visible in that screen?
Yes.
And does that tell the story enough, right? Of
Mm-hmm.
luxury, concierge, right? Right. The level that I play at and that my clients play at, which was such a helpful like exercise for me to do. And I am curious, like, is there a question or two? I'm just indulging here because I have you.
Yeah.
Like, is there a question or two that you would encourage people to ask? Like, for example, my business strategist and coach, she was like, hey, I want you to think about like your top six, like most successful clients. They've worked with you the longest, they've seen incredible results. Just pick the six out of all of them. And I want you to ask them, like, what is it that you have gotten from our work together that you have not gotten anywhere else? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is and you and I talk about this often, which is like there's what you do and then there's the context of how you do it. And if you
Mm-hmm.
can't explain this piece, so many people are like, here's all the things I do, but they're missing the context piece of how they
Mm-hmm.
hold the container, of the energy they create, of the vibe, right, that their clients get, of those stories, right, that they're
Mm-hmm.
receiving. Because when we really mine down deep enough, there are so many nuances, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are incredible executive coaches and business strategists out there, but there's something about me that for certain people is like grease lightning, right? It's like it just,
Totally.
we get on a call and there are tears immediately, right? Like there's just
Mm-hmm.
this experience of being at home, being energized, right? Feeling safe, empowered, creative, right? These sorts of things. So are there
Mm-hmm.
other sorts of questions people can be either outsourcing and asking other people or more questions they can be asking themselves in this too?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I love this question. I like the question that your coach prompted to you because I do think it's important to like re-engage with what people have said about us or what they've enjoyed most when they've actually gone through the process. I also think that going inward, like deeply inward, without looking to competitors or clients or customers or anything like that,
Yes,
like we spend
yes,
so little time
yes.
doing this. We really do, which is funny because we're the one who's supposed to be steering this ship. So I would say, I think about your brand, and website is an easy way to kind of think about this because that's the digital home. Think about landing on your website like a date. The first step is a hello, right? Like the smile, the warm, like approach to the table when you sit down at a bar. This is how my brain works. I don't know why. I haven't dated in a while, but it's a visceral time in your life. So it's like that first interaction, and that kind of triggers for you, like, oh, I'm intrigued. Oh, I'm so glad we're here, right? Like I'm excited. I'm gonna get a drink. I'm interested or not, right? So if we think about that in context of a website, the above the fold is the hello. Like that's where you want to be clear. This is who we are. This is who we're for. And at a very high level, this is how we add value. As the website goes on, as the date goes on, then you get into those differentiators. Like you said, that secret sauce, these unique value pillars, whatever we name them, like it is the thing, the context of how you do this in a way that's different than anybody else. I can say psychology-based branding. Okay, that's a little bit of like that perks interest for some people. That doesn't tell you everything about what we build and how it works and what it delivers. But I can't do all of that in the first 5 minutes of a date. And if you think about like how we choose a partner, I'm really going with this, and how we choose a business, it's not that different. Like it's human decision making. So maybe if I'm on that first date, the thing that like I'm so compelled and interested in is the fact that this guy took care of his little sister when they were growing up and like babysat every day after school and they played softball together. If he walked up to the table from the beginning and was like, I played softball with my sister every day after school, I would be like, okay, I'm Emily. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So I think there's an element of that too. Like, think about, okay, people land here, they have no idea what this is, they have no reason to trust me. Let's answer some core questions about what we're about. Now they're scrolling on, now they're reading on. Now we can really get into those different elements about yourself, about the business that are going to pique the interest of the right people. That's probably a really long answer, but I think sometimes we forget not only to identify what people need to know, but think about like how are we getting them this information so that it's compelling and exciting and not like weird and off-putting.
Yes, because that's the truth, right? It's like even in dating, you're not just looking to date, you're looking with some sort of objective. Even if it's
Yeah,
just, I want to have a good time,
yeah,
or I'm looking for a fun weekend, or whatever the case might
yeah.
be, you have an idea inside about what you want to experience, right? And
Yes.
boundaries around that. And you know when they get tested, right? So in the same way, I love that you're like, okay, how can you take that same level of ownership with your business too?
Hmm.
And absolutely, I tell my clients all the time, you need to be in the driver's seat of your car, head
Hmm.
down, right? Windows up. Do not look at what anyone else in your industry is doing, right? Helpful to
Yes.
get some like benchmark ideas,
Hmm.
but we are doing something that is so unique to you and so unique to your impact that it really shouldn't look like anyone else, right? And that can
A
be a
hundred
scary
percent.
place because we can feel so exposed and
Hmm.
so, yeah, so naked in so many ways of just
Hmm.
like, oh my gosh, do people even want this? But
Hmm.
my experience is that when people do this, right, and you've seen this with your clients too, if you can harness that, you can have people pay a premium, right, for your services because you're not
Absolutely.
speaking to everyone, which is part of the problem with AI, right?
Hmm.
It's how broad can we make the net for your
Yes.
proposition, right? Versus here is the one person I'm talking to. They're in this season of business. They are in this life stage. They are in this, you know, transition point. So I just have so much respect for the work that you do, the thought leadership behind it. I mean, obviously, there's so much more value that you contribute outside of, right, the beautiful branding that you create for your clients.
Thank you.
Where can people find out more about you? Where can they connect with you? I'll put the links in the show notes below, but just give us kind of an overview of that so we can connect you.
Sure. Our website, electriccollab.com, is the best place to learn about what we do and get a taste for the work and all of that. And you can always reach out through the website. Also on Instagram, my personal page is Hey Emily Paulsen, and I love connecting with people. I'll have a conversation anytime, love a voice note, so don't hesitate. And then I'm on LinkedIn as well as Hey Emily Paulsen.
Great. Awesome. Anything else you want to leave people with?
Thank you for the time. I appreciate this. And yeah, I like what you said at the end. If we can leave people with that final note, stepping into that more full expression, it's not self-indulgent, it's not ego-driven, it's not just for people who want to be famous or on big stages or have big book deals. It is truly the way to create longevity for your business. It's not replicable by anybody else. And no matter how technology evolves or the industry shifts around you, when you build from that center of who you are from the start, it will always be sustainable.
Oh, amen and amen. I am so glad to have you. Thank you so much, Emily. And I just hope everyone watching this has enjoyed it as well. Follow up with her, follow her, and get some more goodness. Thank you,
Thank you,
Emily.
Sarah.